What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of The Never Ever Miss. This is the first time that I'm going to be reviewing this show. I did not review season 1, but baby, I'm here for season 2. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and talk about who the couples are this season, and then we'll get into what we saw in the episode. Alright, so the first couple that we have is Charli and Jared. They have been dating for 4.5 years. And then we have Kiki and Brandon. They've been dating for 4 years. Alicia and Irvin, they've only been dating for 5 months. Tatiana and Clavasia, they've been dating 8 months. Alexis and Chris, they've been dating for a year. Brittany and Ty, they've only been dating for 3 months. And Cinco and Jay, they have been dating for 5 months. So this should be interesting. We don't have anyone who's dating for a crazy long time like the first season. But at the same time, it's still crazy that some of these couples have not met in person yet. But let's go ahead and get right into the episode. Now, of course, we have Taronda. She is hosting the show yet again. I feel like I haven't seen Taronda acting lately. I'm just hoping that this season she can actually bring something to the table, because she really wasn't giving anything as a host the last season. Now, the first couple of minutes of this episode, we basically are just introduced to the couples as far as their name, their ages, where they come from, and them flying into the city of LA so that way they can film this show. Now, the first person that we meet is Charli. She is 34 years old, and she's dating Jared, who is 32. And, of course, they've been dating for 4.5 years. Now, the interesting part about their story is that they actually went to the same high school. However, they never crossed paths and interacted with each other. She was 2 years older than him, and how they got together is through Facebook. Basically, they saw they had like some mutual friends. She ends up sliding into DMs, and that's what it's been ever since. Now, I do find this story to be a little bit interesting, but at the same time, it's totally possible, because legit, I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers recently, and come to find out we went to the same high school, and me and this girl never crossed paths. I did not know her, but I mean, we cool right now, but it's just crazy that we went to the same school and did not know it. Nonetheless, the reason why these two did not meet up with each other in 4.5 years is because they had busy schedules. Baby, I don't even know why she started with that, because ma'am, this next line, that's what really got me. She talking about some, oh yeah, we haven't met each other because of fear. And also the fact that, at one point in a relationship, she felt like he was getting a little bit distant. Like he wasn't really calling and talking to her as much as he usually did. So she felt like, okay, he must be out here doing his own thing with another woman, right? To the point where she did not have a conversation with him about it. Oh no, that was too much like right. She decides, oh, I'm about to go out into the streets and do me. Y'all, this woman stands up and says she hooks up with a guy, and now she 8 months pregnant. Girl, if you don't get the fuck out, I'm sorry, but you sitting up here talking about you was in a long distance relationship, okay? And now you want this man to accept you and this baby that's by some other random man that you had a one night stand with? Girl, if you don't get up out of here. Now, when she announced that she was 8 months pregnant, they hadn't gotten to this whole meetup yet. So at this point, she's already had the baby, okay? She already had the baby, and she about to spring this on this man. Child, I done heard it all. Now, y'all, I must say, I feel like this house is better than the last one. Or am I tripping? Is it the same house? It don't look like it. I feel like this will look a little bit more spacious. But nonetheless. Alright, so the next lady arrives, right? It is Alicia. She's 36 years old, and she is dating Irvin. Okay, so since her and Irvin have only been dating for 4 months or whatever, I feel like things ain't gonna be that serious with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's given she could probably take it or leave it when it comes to the relationship. But we shall see. Because according to her, she ain't nobody's girlfriend. She is pretty much dating to be married. She wants to be married. Now, the next person who comes through the door is Tatiana, and she is actually 31 years old. So she's dated Pastor Cavassier, and they ended up meeting through social media. Now, for her, she says that they have not met because, again, these people are oh so busy that they have no time to meet these people who they've so-called fallen in love with, okay? Now, as for her, she is actually, I would say, busy because she does have a child, and that probably keeps her on her toes. Like, she seems like she has a very chill vibe. However, because she is a mom, she is definitely going to be trying to take this seriously. To be like, listen, me and my child is a package deal, and you gonna have to come correct because it don't look like she gonna be playing no games with him. But we shall see. Moving on from there, we actually meet Alexis, and she is dating Chris. Alright, so for some reason, this guy Chris looks familiar, and I cannot seem to pinpoint where I feel like I've seen him. Nonetheless, according to Alexis, she says that they ended up meeting through a mutual friend, and at first she didn't really like him, but clearly he won her over. There is a 10-year age difference, and we shall see how that dynamic works on this show. I think that is going to be very interesting. Alright, now moving on from there, we actually meet Kiki. She is dating, I think his name is Brandon. And basically, again, we have another couple that met on social media. Now, the reason why these two haven't met is mostly, it sounds like, because of Kiki. And from what we gathered, because of Kiki's size, she is a curvy plus size girl, and she does have a lot of insecurity as to will he actually like her in person because she has a bigger body. And like, girl, if he slid into your DMs with the hard eyes, it's given he already knew you was a big girly. I'm pretty sure you have some full body photos that you sent to him at some point. Girl, go meet that man. Shoot, stop playing. Alright, so we actually meet Brittany next, and she's 40 years old, and she's dating, I believe his name is Ty. Now, he's 38. Alright, so when it comes to Brittany, we learn that she has a 3-year-old son, so it seems like she's definitely going to be dating with intentions. Now, surprise, surprise, in walks a man, and the ladies don't know what to do because it's like, are you here for one of us? What's going on? Cinco, he shows up, right? And he introduces himself very politely to each woman, gives her a handshake, and I'm just like, okay. Like, I like the way he handled this. He didn't just be like, oh, hey, y'all, and go sit down somewhere. Like, no, he literally shook everybody's hand. All right, so when we learn more about Cinco, he is dating Jay. We also learn that he's 30 years old. And here's the thing. When it comes to Jay, we learn that she has a child as well. But to hear the way Cinco was talking about her as a mother, like, he was talking about how, like, you know, she's a great mom. I know that, you know, if we do have children together and we get to that point, I know she's going to be great. Like, he really liked this girl. Like, you can really tell that he likes her. So we'll see what happens with their relationship. Next thing you know, Taronda outside yelling for the never ever mets to come outside. All right, so basically Taronda tells each person that, hey, we know that you are here to meet your partner, and at some point y'all are gonna go on a date and y'all gonna meet each other, right? Then she goes ahead and sends these people right on their way. Again, this honestly is a show to where, like, I'm not sure if having a host is really necessary. Like, a couple of these dating shows that we have at this point, I don't know why we have people collecting checks. Like, for me, there's this show where I don't feel like the host adds anything to it. Same thing with Love is Blind. What the hell is Nick Lachey and Vanessa out here collecting a check for? Like, it makes no sense. But you know what? At least it's a black woman with a job. Now, we do see everybody kind of go to their quarters and get ready, but we also saw that Kiki was having a conversation, I want to say with Alexis, and she was basically saying like how she told this guy to save the romance and she just wants to have fun. Listen, I feel like Kiki is very insecure. I feel like she doesn't think that she's worthy of love. And yeah, I feel like it's some things that she gonna need to work on personally. All right, let's get to these damn dates, okay? That's what we really want to talk about. All right, cool. We first see Charli. She's going to meet up with Jared. Jared has planned a pottery date, right? So when they first see each other, right, you can tell she's definitely feeling him. He's feeling her. So they go on to play around with the pottery and the pottery wheel. Child, we gonna move on real quick. Jay and Cinco. So they meet up. And they met, I think, at like a basketball court. We actually know that he played basketball when he was younger. And I will say, these two, they real cute together. They are. But at the same time, it was a tad bit awkward. Because he walks in with the roses. She kind of covers her face and giggles. And then when they gave each other a hug, it was a little awkward hug or whatever. And then they went on about the date. I feel like, I don't know, I guess for me, I was expecting there to be more of a reaction. For example, when Charli and Jared saw each other, like, they could not stop looking at each other and being like, ooh, spin around, let me see you, versus how these two were. So I'm not sure if Jay and Cinco is lying, saying that they never ever met, and they really have met before and they just pretending, or if this is just an awkward situation. But honestly, I feel like it's given they met before. That's just how I feel, okay? Because they went on to go play the little game of basketball or whatever, and like, it wasn't like nothing cutesy about it to be like, oh, first one to five does something for the other person, or like some cute thing. No, it was just like him consistently running up to throw the ball into the goddamn basket and like doing alley-oops and dunking it into the into the goddamn net. And even when she told him, I think like if he made a shot, he would get a kiss. And like they kissed, but it wasn't like no passion behind it. I don't know. Like, they're cute together, but I need to see more. So moving on, we have Brittany. She is going to meet Ty. They go to the beach. And again, these two right here, now we actually saw excitement. Like, they were genuinely happy to see each other. I mean, like, she's smiling, he happy about it. We learned that they're going to go parasailing. And even while they were on the boat, right, like, they were just grinning at each other, staring at each other, looking at each other. Like, it looked like they actually, like, were intrigued by each other and wanted to be around each other. Now, when it comes to Brittany and Ty, they do have a conversation about, you know, their future, and he wants to go on this cruise or whatever. He's like, yeah, we could travel around the world. And she's like, no, I can't do that because I have a child. I can't just be traveling around the world. And he's like, no, we're going to bring your son with us or whatever. And for me, at least it sounds like, as of right now, first episode, it sounds like Ty does not mind stepping up to actually accept Brittany and her child. Because a lot of guys, let's be honest, they be wanting the mama and they don't be wanting them kids. Okay? They don't have no time for them kids. They just want whatever the woman has to offer them. Okay? Now, we done slip and slid our asses right back over there with Charli and Jared, right? They out here skinning and grinning in each other's face, and both of their asses got secrets. Y'all, come get these two. Y'all come get these two. Because that man literally asked that girl, hey, is there anything that I need to know about you? She said, nah, babe, you know everything about me. Not that you have a newborn. Like, girl, you literally have a baby that is maybe 2 months old at the house. Hell, my question is, who's watching the child? Now, moving on, we actually see Kiki, right? She in the car, ready to go on this date. I'm telling you, you can look at her. You can look at her and just see that she has a million things going through her head to be like, will he like me? Like, do I look okay? Like, I feel like she was asking herself all those questions in her head. And it's like, girl, take a breath. It's going to be okay. All right? We get to the confessional of Brandon, and he's like, I'm dating Kiki. Yes, she a BBW model. And, like, my biggest fear is that she ain't gonna like me for me. And I'm just like, girl, I think you got him in the bag, okay? I really think that Kiki, you may have him, okay? Because he thinking, not that he's not gonna like you, but that you won't like him. And a lot of times, the guys on this show, they'll be like, oh, I hope she look like the pictures that she sent me. I hope that she's this. I hope that she's that. But you have this guy here who's like, no, I'm hoping that she actually, likes me and I'll live up to the hype. Now, when Kiki walks in or whatever, she introduces herself, and for her, she feels like he a bit shorter than what she thought he was. And I'm like, well, girl, he's still taller than you, so it's fine. Like, you acting like the man 5'2". It's okay. And he likes Kiki, okay? He like what he see. Now, here's where things were a little interesting for me. Because I said, oh, baby, wait a minute, we might have a red flag. Because this might be a fetish for him. Because they're doing this photo shoot, right? He's going to be the photographer. And he's like, oh, yeah, babe, this is a lingerie shoot. Keep in mind, it's a bunch of other clothes on the rack that ain't lingerie. I'm just like, sir, you could at least ease her into the whole lingerie idea. You could be like, oh, babe, I planned, this photo shoot for us. And, well, at least for you. And, you can pick out whatever outfits you want to put on. Oh, and yeah, you may see some lingerie pieces. We could totally do a lingerie photo shoot if that's something that you're comfortable with. If that's something you are comfortable with, especially considering we are on national TV. Like, be so for real. Like, yes, Kiki may need a guy to kind of like, pump her ego up, build her confidence up to be like, yeah, I'm that girl. But, sir, is this like low-key giving you fetishized BBWs? What's going on here? I'm just throwing that out there just in case. But we're going to go ahead and move on because she does come out in the lingerie. They do take some photos. But for me, she was posing like it was a catalog and not like a boudoir like photo shoot. I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, she posing like as if this is a JCPenney ad. But girl, good for you, I guess. Moving on, we actually have Irvin and Alicia. So we learned that they are actually going to be doing this Haitian dance class, right? And the type of dancing that it is very like close and intimate. And here's the thing, I don't know if she liked this man. Because I feel like, again, there wasn't any spark when they met each other. And also, she's like, in her confessional saying, yeah, I'm not really sure if I like this date because he wants to do this dance that I'm not comfortable with. Well, ma'am, you absolutely can voice your opinion. You can absolutely tell him like, hey, I know that you want to do this dance class, but I don't think I'm ready for that because we just don't know each other like that. And I'm just not comfortable. Like, I hate when women are not able to vocalize and say when they're uncomfortable, but then you kind of want to have like this attitude about it, if that makes sense. Like, girl, just tell the man, please. I'm pretty sure he'll be understanding. So as they are doing this dance, right, I feel like Alicia got a little bit more comfortable, but at the same time, she was still very uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't even know if it's that she's uncomfortable with him or if she's more so uncomfortable with the cameras. Because it looked like to me that she was really in her head about how she's going to appear on TV. But moving on, we quickly see Tatiana and Clavassier. They're going to go horseback riding. And when they saw each other, they actually seemed to, be into each other and like each other. We didn't even get much into the date because we had to jump back over to Kiki and Brandon. And they're basically having dinner. And just want to note this, that there's already wine in her glass. She's like, oh, I'm going to pour some more because I need to get over, my nerves. And I feel like a lot of people, they do that. They tend to use liquor as a way to kind of calm their nerves. And he then asked her the question, like, oh, so are you like a drinker? And she's like, yeah, but I'm working on it, right? He's like, you're working on it? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. Like, yes, there are women who do like to drink. They like to have a good time. That doesn't mean that they're alcoholics. That doesn't mean that they are drunks. Like, they may have 1 or 2 drinks and they just want to be feeling good. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing about him. Brandon is like, yeah, this alcohol thing threw me off. And she's like, I mean, you didn't even pour a full glass. And he said, well, I mean, I poured enough. Baby, it's time to wrap this day right on up, y'all. Wrap it up. Because at this point, it's giving you want to control Kiki. Because here's the thing. I feel like he knows that Kiki doesn't exactly have the confidence that she should. Yes, Kiki, I think, is like a plus size model. And, when she's modeling and doing all those types of things, she's exuding confidence for sure. However, when it comes to being with a partner, it seems like that is where she gets in her head and she gets insecure. See, I don't like where this is going because it's giving you're trying to control her and you trying to do some manipulation. I can see it now. Like, when that girl flat out asked him, is this going to be an issue for you? And he said, we can work through it. I'm like, yeah, it's time to wrap it up. Because what is there to work through? There's nothing to work through in this moment. This is the first time that you're meeting this girl. He acted like they are 5-6 days in and she done drank a whole bottle every day. Like, sir, relax. Now, we go over to Chris and Alexis. Again, y'all, this man's face looks so familiar. And then he started talking. And I'm just like, who is this man? I feel like I've seen him before. Please let me know in the comments who this man is. Because it's going to drive me up a wall. Now, he's going on saying that, like, he's into Alexis. However, they've been talking for a year. And he ain't never seen no pictures of her from the, I think he said the chest down. Yeah, I think he said he's only pretty much seen, her face. He ain't never seen her body, okay? Now, here go the plot twist for me. Because I'm like, okay, he just gonna be in shock that, he saw her in person. All right, cool. However, she goes on to talk about how they kind of, I guess, separated because at some point he was in a doghouse because he found another girl that he was dating and she was local to him. So, she was a little bit more convenient for him. However, Miss Alexis is like, yeah, I already knew he was going to come back. I'm like, oh, baby, you think you got it like that? Okay, you didn't even have to, do some things to the man yet. Now, of course, we know that he came back to her because clearly, I guess it didn't work out with the other girl. And according to Alexis, they still have a lot of things to work on. He's still trying to get out of the doghouse. And all that man had to do was smile, and this woman melted. Now, I will say, he does have a very, very beautiful smile. Honestly, I think he may be the most attractive guy on this season. So we do see her get out of the van and they see each other, they meet each other. He had a smile on his face the entire time. Now, I don't know if he was smiling and grinning because he was genuinely happy to see her, or if he knew, all right, the cameras is rolling, let's keep a smile on his face. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he actually genuinely liked what he saw, because remember, this is the guy who never saw his lady's full body. Okay? So they're on this beach. He has a nice little picnic set up on the beach. And baby, she is coming out the gate swinging, because she's like, listen, you owe me a public apology. I said, whoa, what do you mean, ma'am? Because he was also lost. And he's like, oh yeah, I do owe you an apology. Yeah, I apologize for basically abandoning you and leaving you hanging while I was talking to that other woman. And I'm just like, I'm not sure if I like that apology. Because in my mind, that sounds like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have, put so much effort into what I had going on in real life because you was all virtual. But maybe the conversation should have been, you know what? I should have been upfront and honest with you from the get-go when it came to me being interested in another woman. Because clearly I was not satisfied in us only being virtual. And maybe with this opportunity for us to meet each other, see each other, and get to experience each other fully in person, you know what I'm saying? I can make better choices moving forward. You see what I'm saying? Like, the verbiage could have been better. Because to me, that sounded like, yeah, I could have kept seeing old girl, but I should have answered your call some more. I could have answered and replied to your text, even though I was still messing around with old girl. I'm just saying. Now, for her, once he gave her that apology, she accepted. She is ready to move on and see what can happen within these next 3 weeks of this process. So, as they're sitting there, she ends up asking him, am I your type? And I feel like that's something that, again, she may have an insecurity about, because remember, he said that he had never seen her from the neck down. So, she may have a little bit of insecurity there. And he's like, no, like, I'm attracted to, the type of person that you are, and you're beautiful, and, saying all the right things. All right, so we slide back over to Alicia and Irvin, and they decide to toast on top of some abandoned building in LA, okay? The sun is still beaming. I would not say that it's going down exactly. Like, this wasn't a sunset. It was more so, maybe it was supposed to be golden hour. I'm just like, I'm not sure, because from the looks of it, it looks like it's eye blinding, okay? But I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. Nonetheless, they go ahead and do this toast. And here's the thing. He seems to be very, affectionate, or at least he's trying to be in some type of way, because, again, he ends up, coming up behind her, trying to, wrap his arms around her, and she is uncomfortable yet again, okay? So I'm not really sure what is happening with her that she is this uncomfortable. She could absolutely have some things that happened to her in her past. Or it could be that she really not feeling him, but she trying to make it work because we on this TV show. Honestly, I would prefer if she would just be upfront and honest with him and be like, I really love that we met in person, but as of right now, I just don't want, physical touch right now. I would actually appreciate that. You be setting boundaries, and at this point, all he can do is respect it. But let's go ahead and move on. All right, so we jump back over to Cinco and Jay. And they're trying to figure out this room situation, because the women, they have one big room, right? And then as far as the guys go, they have a room that has 3 beds and a room that has 2 beds, right? So because the room with the ladies only had a middle bed left, she's decided, oh, I'm not sleeping in there with them. I'm going to go ahead and share a room with Cinco. I'm going to sleep in the guy's room. But here's the thing. If y'all are planning on taking on the room that has the 2 beds, that means that you're expecting for one of the guys to give up their spot and go sleep on a couch, because I'm not sure if the ladies are comfortable with a random man sleeping in the room with them. Oh wait, actually I stand corrected. She said that she is going to sleep in the bed with Cinco, and because he has a king size bed versus the beds in the women's room also being smaller, because she can't do no small bed. And I'm like, girl, you're going to be here for 3 weeks. Chill out. Number one. Number two, okay, so now you would rather spend your time in bed with Cinco and some other random roommate? That's a little weird. But also at the same time, it's given you and Cinco know each other already, because you're that comfortable and you just met him. That's real interesting. You don't know this man for real like that, yet you are willing to share a bed with him. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's giving y'all met each other in person before. So next thing you know, we see that her and Cinco, Jay and Cinco, they're about to hop in the shower together, right? It's like, oh, okay. That was kind of quick. Like, again, you don't really know him like that, but girl, do your thing. Now, according to her, she's like, we've been dating for 5 months and men have needs and we just might as well go ahead and get this thing over with. Listen, at this point, it's given, you ain't got nowhere for y'all to meet up. He must stay at his mama house, and y'all using this as a place for y'all to go ahead and do what y'all gotta do. Like, what is going on? I don't know. Something is off. Maybe I could be wrong, but something is off about these two, and I just can't put my finger on it, okay? Nonetheless, I just find that to be so random. Like, I get it, y'all been talking for 5 months and all that, but for you just to go hook up in the shower, what the hell going on? But you know what? We're going to go ahead and move on. Now, we're going to slide on over to Pastor Clavassier and Tatiana, right? So, I kind of forgot that they were horseback riding, right? And they end up stopping at like this setup that's like a picnic for them, right? And it looks really cute and cozy. It definitely seems like it's her vibe. Like, when they went to go sit down and he told her like, oh yeah, I made sure that the food was vegan because I know that that's what you eat. And she's like, oh, you didn't have to do that for me. He's like, no, like I wanted to because I have surprisingly more friends that are vegan. So like I'm all cool with it. Like, this man really liked this girl, okay? Like, I love to see the effort that he's putting in to be like, yes, I may not be a vegan. However, because I like you, I care about you, I'm going to step into your world. And if you like vegan food, then baby, I'm going to eat that as well. Because I'm trying to actually build something with you. I'm rocking with it so far. Like, he compliments her. This girl has been grinning. He keeps her laughing. Like, I am enjoying so far seeing some of these people interact, because you can tell that they actually like the other person. You know what I'm saying? Now, at one point, he literally tells her to like come in closer, right? And she's like, no, I'm scared, no, or whatever. And he's like, no, like you can just hold my hand. And this is the one thing that I definitely respect about Tatiana, is that yes, she may not have been ready to kiss him yet, right? However, she still was able to be like, oh, I'll still hold your hand. But, it was clear that she may not have been ready for that step, and he got the hint, okay? Like, the way that she was able to approach the situation to be like, you know, go ahead, hold my hand, but I'm not ready to kiss you yet. I think she handled that so well. And she was vocal about it, but not being like, hey, I'm not ready for that yet. You know what I mean? Like, I think she handled it great. And I wish that that's how Alicia would have operated, because with her and Irvin, he's trying his best to get touchy-feely, and baby, she ain't going for it. Yet she's suffering through it. So that way, I guess, she don't hurt his feelings. I don't know. It's very strange. But back to Tatiana and Cavassier, they ended up taking pictures or whatever. And yeah, it got a little bit awkward, but it wasn't like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was salvageable. Because I feel like he got the hint that she wasn't ready, like I said, to kiss him. But I think just the gesture of her still holding his hand is kind of like an olive branch to be like, I'm still here. I'm still in this. I'm trying, but we'll get there. You know what I mean? Now, moving on, we do see all the couples finally get to the house or whatever. They meet each other. And then we see a conversation had between Jared and Charli. Now, unfortunately for Charli, guilt is eating her alive, okay? The fact that she out here skinning and grinning in front of this man's face, knowing that, oh my gosh, I like him so much, but I have a whole child. Like, I have a whole newborn baby at the house, okay? I need to tell this man something. Baby, all this newness and honeymoon phase has worn off on her. So I feel like she's going to have to say something soon. Now, at one point, this man, he done got so damn tired that he gets a pillow, lays his ass on the couch, got a blanket, and goes to sleep there. And I'm just like, sir, you do know you have a bed in this house. Why are you sleeping on the couch? Or is this the situation where you got to sleep on the couch now because you don't want to be in the room with that couple? What was that? Jay and, what's his name? Jay and Ty? Is his name? No, that's not Ty. It's Jay and Cinco. You don't want to be in that room with them, so that's why you sleep on the couch? I need to understand. But y'all, we hop back over to Charli. Y'all, Charli is straight up pumping, okay? I, for some reason, completely even forgot about that aspect, that she just literally had a baby, so she's gonna have to pump. I said, girl, if you don't go downstairs and go tell that man, you gonna have to do something. Because I have never had a kid. However, I do know that sometimes, there can be situations where, moms may, leak out or, different things happen. And I'm like, girl, could you imagine being on a date with this man and out of nowhere you start leaking out? Girl, what is going on? You got to tell him. Please, just tell him now so we can go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off. Baby, I don't know if it was the conversation that Charli had with the producers or what, because I feel like that producer probably was like, girl, there is no way you're going to be able to continue with this process, going out on dates with him, being in a house with him, and you still have to pump, baby. That's not gonna work. Go ahead and tell this man. So she gets up, she goes to tap that man, wake him up, and be like, listen, baby, we gotta talk. They gonna have a conversation. And she don't even know where to start, okay? She's like, yeah, you know about my daughter. You know, I have a daughter who's 12 years old. You already know about her. But I also have a 1-month-old daughter that I've been having to go pump milk for. And I said, now hold on. Y'all, again, I don't have kids. However, the wording and the phrasing makes absolutely no sense. You just said you have a 1-month-old child that you have to go pump milk for. As if the baby is here and is about to consume this milk, okay? I feel like because you are producing milk, and once you're done with this process, you're going to go back home and still be producing milk. That is why you are pumping and discarding. Or are you pumping and like putting this in the freezer? Because girl, at some point, if you look in the freezer, those bags are going to stack up. Am I tripping? Ain't that how that work? Like, I know that you can freeze the milk. Am I going crazy? I'm just trying to make sense of what this girl is saying. I thought that girl was going to say, I have a 1-month-old baby that, I unfortunately had like a one-night stand, like something. Not about to say, oh, because, I be having to pump that baby's milk. Girl, what? Then she lets us know, as well as him, that, remember that time I said I had hernia surgery? Yeah, that's not what happened. Really, I was giving birth. Ma'am, so you were just continuing with the lies, okay? So it's giving the whole time you were pregnant, you was lying, okay? Not only about you being pregnant, but there's probably a bunch of little lies that you had to tell to continue to hide this from this man. Y'all, then this bitch hit us with a fucking double whammy, okay? She decides to end off by telling us she got 2 more kids. Wrap it up, Charli. Wrap it the fuck up. Jared, I'm sorry. This is when you get up and say, ma'am, you just told me way too many lies, okay? Because if you can lie about how many kids you got, especially when you're like, okay, I already have one daughter that's 12. You made it seem like you only had one child. And baby, you hit 3 more. That's crazy. Okay? That's real, real crazy. Yeah, I don't know if those other kids were born during the time that they were talking, because I believe that this couple has been talking for like 4 years. So I'm going to assume that this may be a situation where she had those kids and they may have just been like talking, or maybe 1 year in and she had them kids too. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they have been talking for all this time and he ain't never heard them kids in the background. Especially if they was FaceTiming. Kids don't care about what you doing. They gonna make some noise. Now, at the same time, I did not forget that Jared has his own secret, okay? So I'm going to need him to go ahead and reveal that secret and then get the hell up and be like, y'all know what? We're going to go ahead and wrap this on up. I want them to wrap it on up. But y'all, that was this episode. The preview for the next episode, it looked like it's going to be interesting. Alicia looked like she's finally going to speak up for herself and say, hey, I don't really like this. She said that she felt uncomfortable, I believe. That's what she told him, finally. We have the girl who's dating Chris. What is her name? I can't remember. I gotta try to remember these people's names. But she trying to get a little too touchy-feely. Pastor Clavassier, he got some type of secret to tell Tatiana. It's gonna get real interesting this season. I can feel it. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. What couples are y'all feeling so far? Let me know what y'all thought about this Charli situation. Because, girl, go sit your ass down somewhere. But, I'm not even gonna say what I'm thinking. I might say that later for another review. Yeah, let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.